All right. We're back. Episode 2, guys. Welcome again to the Photo Booth Talk Show podcast, powered by RevoSpin, of course. And special guest today is our guy here, David. Go ahead and introduce yourself, David.
Yo, David here, Consconnect 360. Yo, this is really cool, guys. I like
Yeah.
this. This is honestly the place that it all started.
Yeah,
Full circle, place right here, and you guys elevated so much. Yeah,
Back in full effect here, doing the podcast here. So we're thankful for everybody viewing in, tuning in, and checking us out. David was one of our first customers last year during the 360 revamp, I guess, or 360 hype that we were all into. And of course, we're trying to continue that. And he's one of the entrepreneurs that just went off with it.
Yeah, no, most definitely. I mean, I just saw it just on social media, just like everybody else.
Gotcha.
I just thought to myself, wow, this is a great business. This could be a cool little side hustle because I still got my 9 to 5 that I do, and I know that's the big thing that when I met with Carlos, he's like, yeah, man, this is a great side hustle. That's the main thing he put in my head, and I knew that it could be that way, especially when he just affirmed that, and I sat on the idea for about a month.
Right.
Sat on it for about a month, and then because when you get an idea, you're like, oh, that's a good idea.
It's hard to jump on it.
You can't just jump on it.
Well, what made you get started on it? How'd you get interested in it?
Oh man, you want to get deep? The reason why I really jumped on
Sure,
it
from the beginning, man.
Uh-oh.
I mean, there's a lot of folks out there that that doesn't know what to do with extra cash, or maybe invest in this, invest in that, or they see the hype, they want to see if they can go on it as well and see if they can make it an opportunity for themselves. I mean, I'm sure that's how you saw it, right?
They're probably in the same situation as you
Yeah,
are.
they have the idea, but they're just not
Yeah, I
biting
guess,
on it.
You're absolutely, everything you said is absolutely right. But it came down to me, so after a month of seeing the product and the service, and I said, yeah, it's still a good idea. And then without getting too into it, my relationship status just changed, right?
Right.
And then I was like, yo, I need something to keep me busy.
Yeah.
And that was just the first thing I thought of. I was like, yo, if I'm gonna have some excess time, let me put in something that's productive, something that I think will bring me joy,
Right.
something that I think that will give other people joy, right? So that's when I literally went and found out that you have this location, Las Vegas or City of Industry. I was like, wow, I live 5 minutes away from here.
Right.
Then I met Carlos.
Yeah.
Made it super, super easy and chill, and just showing me rather than trying to sell me. You know what I mean? And let me build up the big picture of what I thought it could be. And then, and I think literally the next day I brought my daughter with me, and I made the purchase with my daughter.
Nice.
Yeah, that's what it was. I got my daughter on there. I saw she was smiling, having a good time, and I was like, yo, bro, here's my max out my card. Let's go. Let's go.
That's exactly what happened. Yeah. Seriously, that's what happened. I just remember talking to him. I'm like, yo, so how do you hear about it? And then he's like, I've just been looking into renting one, and then I seen that people are charging like $800 an hour, $700 an hour to.
Right.
So he's like, he's like, at that cost, I want to know how much it costs. So I looked up, I found you guys. You guys are down the street. I came, and yeah, man, like you could just see it straight up. Like you had done your research, because once you walked in here, it was like a kid in a candy store. You're like, oh, like.
I knew right away he could make something of it.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think we all have that eye for something special, and when we see something special, you're just like, okay, how can I run with this now? You know what I mean, and like I said, I think we all have that gift, and when you said that earlier, when you said like it was the revamping process, I didn't even know it was a revamping process.
Well, for the industry, right?
Yeah, I
it
didn't
was
even
something
know.
new. It was always standard as far as photo booths, mirror booths, and rental services, right? But in the 360, when we jumped on it, and we made our own, and we kind of just structured it to how our customers are currently using it. So we revamped the 360 in a way to make it a custom for us, and for us as the or the renter, or us as the service provider, right? So we made some tweaks to it along the way up until now. We're making tweaks on it so it's better for our customers to service their customers.
Yeah, no, most definitely is. I think I jumped in at the right time.
You definitely did.
Definitely.
You did. Yeah.
I mean, honestly, if I jumped in right now, I think I still would have made the same headway. But timing is everything, though. At the same
Right.
time.
Definitely is.
A lot of people forget that it's the passion that comes into play when you're building your business. It's just you got to have a lot of passion in it, and I think that's one thing that you have. You have a lot of that drive. You actually embrace it and you love what you do.
Yeah.
And ultimately, that's what creates success.
That's what counts. You
Yeah.
know, that's what drives you on a day-to-day basis.
Yeah.
I mean, from when I first met you, last year, I was like, yeah, this guy for sure has passion for it. He has a keen note for it, and he knows what he's doing. And whether he's learning it on a day-to-day basis, I think it's overall is an experience for you, and I think that's what makes it so great for you.
Yeah, you hit the nail on the head on that one. Yeah,
Yeah.
I still don't know what I'm doing, to be honest. I show up to an event, I'm like, is this the right place? Like, I swear, I've shown up to the wrong place like at least 4 or 5 times already.
Yeah,
Right.
it
And I'm
happens.
like, this isn't the wedding. They're like, there's only like a bat mitzvah going on here, bro. I'm like, oh no. So it's a good thing I show up really early for reasons like that. But yeah, I mean, that's what it's all about. Just finding solutions to those problems on a day to day.
Yeah.
Because because the 360, that's just a lot of connection points, this and that.
Yeah.
I think the biggest lesson I learned is to always carry duct tape,
Gaffer tape for
gaffer
sure.
tape, duct tape, because that's a quick fix for everything.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, it's just
the ball mount gets loose, throw some,
Yeah,
throw some duct tape on that
and-
real quick.
You got to make do with what you got, you know, make it work.
no, absolutely, and that's the thing with the business. It's like you got to put those hours in. You got to
Yeah.
put those hours in.
You get in
hours
what you put out, for sure. You know, the
Yeah.
more you put in, the more you get out of it.
Yeah.
I mean, speaking of business, I mean, you mind sharing with us the experience of just buying the 360 and everything else from RevoSpin?
I mean, so like I said, so with Carlos, he wasn't selling, I was buying. So that's the main thing that I
Right.
learned in the sales business. It's like, if your product is good, better than decent, excellent, which the 360 at RevoSpin is, then people are gonna want to buy it. You don't need to hard sell anybody. So
Yeah.
so it took less than 2 days to close a deal on a $4,000, $5,000, $6,000 purchase, whatever it was at the time.
Yeah. I think it was like 5,000.
Something like that, and that's not chump change to anybody. You know what I mean?
Right.
So
Every dollar counts, for sure.
Yeah, 100%. You know what I mean? Whether you have it or you don't, whether it's on credit, whatever the situation is. So got in here, saw the showroom, impressive. Put me on the machine, still impressed. Let me sit on it. And like I said, there wasn't no pressure or anything. It was just letting me build up what I think I can make out of this, and came back
And
and
then confirming everything that you were saying.
Yeah.
I was just like, yeah, bro, you did your research. Like, you definitely could charge that. You definitely could operate it this way. You definitely could utilize it for this. I was just, you were already sold before I even had to say anything to you.
yeah.
And then, and then, like you said, during that time we were super busy, so we were backed up like 4 weeks. And this guy was so excited that he came by literally.
in here.
Yeah, pop in with his daughter. Like, yo, bro, I'm taking my daughter to the park. We're gonna be in the area. Could I come and like do some videos for her? He's like, look, this is what Daddy bought, and like like you could just see the excitement. I was like, man,
Right.
I was like, this guy's gonna kill it when he gets his stuff, man.
Yeah, and I'm glad that there was actually some a turnaround time from the purchase, because it really helped me get my marketing plan in order.
Right.
You know
That's
what I mean?
good.
That was the big thing. It's like, all right, this is a great thing.
You're able to lay down your plan.
Yeah.
At least what's
Yeah.
in your head.
Exactly.
Then when you do get it, you can execute on it in a certain way that you were picturing already.
Exactly. So yeah, so from when I purchased it, there was people already contacting me saying, all right, it's in order, it's in transit, it's ready for pickup. And from the pickup time, then I had like a couple of people helping me like get that thing into my car. It's always been pleasant though, from almost a year now doing business and sharing laughs and tips and advice from all of you guys. It's been nothing but a good experience. Yeah, I'm always learning something every time I walk in through the doors. And your team is just so big now in your
Right.
LA location, and everyone just comes with the same, just great attitude.
Yeah, we've definitely been humbled the way of our upbringing the last year and a half, 2 years, especially for RevoSpin. We've got nobody else to thank but yourself and all our customers that has been supporting us since. Can you share with us any of the struggles that you were getting into when you were getting started with the business?
Some of the struggles, I was just moving so fast. Like for my marketing plan, just getting my marketing going, and that was, I mean, whether it's luck or just persistence or just being prepared for opportunity, that wasn't an issue getting booked. It really wasn't, which was cool.
That's true.
It wasn't.
I
It wasn't an
remember
issue.
you were constantly getting
Yeah,
booked.
it wasn't an issue getting booked. Maybe the problem was the time when I was like, you know what? Because I started getting double booked.
Oh, wow.
So that was a problem.
That's a good problem to have.
Yeah,
It's a good problem.
It's a good problem.
yeah. I was getting double booked, and I remember turning down the first 2, 3, and I was like, "Yo, this is what I wanted it to be. I wanted it to be a business, so
I need scale.
I need
Yeah.
scale.
Right.
I need to scale. So I was like, all right. So if I'm gonna start scaling, like I need a team, and doing a photo booth or 360 company, especially if you're working on a brand. I mean, like brands long term. Like I could do some
Yeah.
like quick little marketing here and there, which works, which is great. But I was focusing on the brand, so I was like, I need to bring in some people that are just as good, if not better. I'm not saying I'm the best, but I need people that are just as good as me. You know what I mean, in terms of service. So spending a week or two of just like constantly hitting up people, like whether it's some service industry or the gym or asking people, hey, do you know anyone that could fit this, and this criteria? And I'd be asking nonstop. And then finally, then sooner or later, someone would be like, you know what? I got someone for you.
Yeah.
And it'd be the perfect person. So that was probably a struggle.
How about this? I remember one time you told me you took one of your guys, and they had open bar, and then he started triggering the wrong controllers, like, and you're like, all right, man, let's put the drink down. Like, let's put the drink down. Let's focus.
Yeah. Yeah, you know, because it's always a party.
Yeah,
We're
yeah.
always at a
Always.
party.
We're always at a
I
party.
mean,
Yeah.
we're literally in the entertainment industry.
Yeah, we're at a party, and everyone's like, oh, here, let's have some drinks. You know, have a
Right.
drink. And in the beginning, I was like, yeah, sure, why not?
Yeah.
You know, what's wrong with a drink? Oh, 2 drinks, right? And that's the mentality I brought with my worker, and then became workers, and then all of a sudden just got too loosey goosey. We're just like, all of a sudden we got a little sloppy, which I don't recommend doing.
No, yeah.
Yeah.
It's a learning curve, you know. And it was really early on, and you
It-
corrected it right
yes.
away. So
Yeah, so after that, because there's only 3 buttons to worry about. Let's just say, actually, there's only really 2 buttons to worry about. And if we can't get that right, yeah, we would cut us off at the bar. You know what I mean? So I remember that. I remember that moment when I was like, and I grabbed the drink out of his hand, just like really smooth. I was like, I put it down. I said, we're not drinking anymore. He's like, okay.
Got it.
He's like, yeah, I'm pushing the wrong button. Yeah, so that's definitely a learning curve. Hey, but you know what? A struggle is because now I do have like 3 photo booths
and you ain't even been doing it a year yet, huh?
and that's actually what I was telling Carlos. I remember in the beginning I was like, yo, my goal is to have like 3 or 4 of these by then within a year. And I was like, when I realized I did it, I was like, cool. Like,
And it just
In
happened
like 6
too.
months.
it just happened.
Yeah.
And it just
Right,
happened.
you had no timeline for that. It just kind of just happened because you kind of just purchased more as you needed it, and then
Yeah.
you just saw yourself growing.
Yeah, and putting timelines on things, putting expectations, I think that's pretty messed up. I don't like having expectations. Maybe a standard, maybe a
Right.
standard for myself, maybe a standard for my team, but expectations, like things happen. Like
Right.
things are like there's a million things that could
Yeah.
happen from now and then. Like, but
Well,
knowing-
you set goals, right?
yeah,
You set goals.
yeah.
You put a plan out there in order to crush those goals. If for some reason you come up short, you think of another reason to get there quicker
Yeah.
or get there another way. You
Yeah.
know,
Or just reassess sometimes.
right?
Yeah.
Exactly. So as I was scaling up and this is gig work, really. Like, it's not like, okay, you're gonna be working every Saturday, you know, from 5 p.m. to 9 p.m. like for the next 3 months. It's all gig work. So when I'm finding these people and asking like, hey, does this or this? So like right now I have, you know, 1, 2, 3, 4. I have like 5 people that I could call on at any time that are fully trained, right? Fully trained.
That you trust.
That I trust to
represent
run.
your brand.
More,
Yeah.
most importantly, that what Carlos
Right.
just said is like that could represent the brand that I'm trying to portray out on Instagram or social media, whatever the case may be, and realizing that not everyone can be managed the same. Everyone's motivated differently.
A lot of people struggle our attendance. I don't think you're the only one who had that struggle. A lot of people are in the same predicament where they can't find an attendant. And
Right,
I think
attendant, yeah.
I think when it all comes down to it, when you really think about it, everybody is a potential attendant. You know, it's just a matter of you looking.
Yeah.
What you did right is you actually spoke and asked. You know what I mean? A lot of people don't do that. A lot
Yeah.
of people will
Yeah.
put something in the ad, I'm looking for this and looking
Yeah.
for that. You know, a lot of those people in the ads are
They just
actually
want a quick
looking.
buck.
Well, most of those people are looking for a full-time job. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah.
So if you actually just ask, like, I would say 90% of us don't pretty much do anything on the weekends, and this is a weekend job.
Yeah.
So technically, you got 90% of the people here locally that are available.
Yeah.
If you just ask,
Yeah.
you know what I mean. If you just explain to them that I don't need you for Monday through Friday. I just need you on the
Yeah,
weekends.
4 hours on a Saturday.
4 hours on a Saturday.
Whatever.
I'll exchange the time that you're sitting there watching TV, and I'll pay you to be at an event, and you know,
Yeah.
be happy.
And
No, you're absolutely right.
I think, like one of the reasons why you got good people is because you really, like what we were discussing the last time. It's like you really embodied it, and you know how to sell the whole picture to people. You know, so I feel like that's why you're able to build a solid team because they respect your business. They see how you carry yourself. You're not just like you said, just trying to nickel and dime. Like you're looking long term, and you're trying to get there. And when you approach the people that work for you, I feel like they see it off the top.
Yeah.
yeah.
They gotta be able to relate, and at the same time, ultimately, for me at least, I do believe that you just have to ask. I have, you know, running an operation of my own, I've asked a lot of ridiculous requests, and you know what? A lot of those ridiculous requests were yes. You know what I mean? Just when I thought they wouldn't do it, they would. You know, if I hadn't asked, I would have never known. You know what I mean? So a lot of people says, oh, you know, I'm struggling trying to find an attendant, trying to find help for my business. Yeah, but you know, you're not really asking, you're not really telling people. So a lot of the times you just have to ask. You just have to let people know, like you know, anyone that you come across, hey, do you know anyone that fits this criteria? I
Yeah.
guarantee you there's somebody out there on their weekends doing nothing, and they'll be like, yeah, man, you know, I'll take the time to
And
learn.
they're perfect for the job.
Yeah, they're perfect. So it's not really a struggle to find an attendant. You just have to ask. Like I said,
Yeah.
I've always had the tendency to ask, no matter how stupid, how ridiculous the question is. You know, and I don't think about me looking dumb, you know, or looking
Yeah.
stupid.
Yeah.
I
Well, you
just
gotta
have
put
to.
yourself
yeah.
out there for
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah.
You know, you can't be afraid to put yourself out there and grab the attention of people that are gonna see it, right? I think you had that advantage for you where you were able to draw some of the more better people for your attendance, right? To be your attendant, to work with you, to work in your team. And I think obviously, I'm sure you pay them well and you treat them well, and they embody the business itself too.
Constant
And
connects.
that's-
Yeah.
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 Yeah, no, you're absolutely right. You got to ask, like, and I mean, shame. What's that? I mean,
Yeah.
like,
Right.
And then in terms of working with when you have people that you're hiring and employing and paying and all that good stuff, putting the ego aside, man.
Yeah.
Like I remember, like just, and it's not even a bad thing. It's just like let them speak and try to understand before being understood and trying to figure out and just communicating. That's the big thing.
Yeah.
It's just
Yeah.
like, what are your expectations? Like, let me ask you, what's your expectations out of me? What's your expectation out of this job? Oh, that. Oh, I could definitely do all that for you. Let's do it. And then in terms of payment, yeah, I'm not trying to like nickel and dime them. I'm trying to like pay them for what I think they're worth, and they're probably worth more. I mean, don't tell me I said that. but yeah, you know what I mean? I want them to go out and take ownership because they're getting paid better than decent.
Right.
They're going out to parties.
Yeah.
Right.
We're all going out to parties. And they're the life of the party for the
Right.
most part,
Yeah.
really, because it's a hit. I mean, the 360
Yeah.
photo booth is a hit at every party. It's like a no-brainer. People are like, this is just like at the red carpet. This is crazy.
Yeah.
Or they're
Right.
like,
They get that feeling for sure.
yeah, and at first I'm like, has this even been on the red carpet?
Quick, what's your spill like when people get on the 360 and they don't know what to do?
I go through the same spiel every time. Like if they like, cause yeah, it doesn't, and that's the funny thing, Carlos.
Yeah.
Like it doesn't matter how good looking or how well put together they are, or everything in between. Doesn't matter, right? No one knows what to do on that
Yeah.
thing. No one. 99% of the time, they're like, all right, what do I do?
It's so new. They're like, am I gonna spin or?
Exactly. It's like, yeah, man, this little platform's gonna spend all six of you guys
Right.
standing on here. I guess the spiel is, I mean, if we're just getting like to the bare basics of it, it's like, all right, we're not moving our feet. don't.
Right.
We're not shifting weight, especially with all these people here.
We're not jumping around too much.
Yeah, we're not jumping around at all. Like, and then they say, oh, and then they start saying like, oh, just dance. I'm like, yeah, dancing's cool, but it's not gonna look good on the video. They're like, what? I'm like, I mean, yeah, because you know the slow mo, this and that. I mean, you're gonna make a funny face when you're dancing. It's gonna look kind of weird.
Yeah.
And they go, oh, okay. And then I just give them some simple little poses to do. Like it's the it's the classics, I call it. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? The ones that'll play well, that be really flattering on camera.
Right.
And even
Those are good points, man. Because I've seen some of your videos, and I used to wonder, man, you capture pretty good videos, you know.
yeah,
And
thank
a
you.
lot of people forget that yeah, it's like for me, I used to think that you make them dance. But because they seem like they were dancing, but now that you mentioned it, they were good videos, you know, and I think it's because you do tell them to post.
Yeah.
You become
Oh,
the
absolutely.
conductor.
And that's actually what what I tell the attendants. I'm like, yo, it's like we're directing these people. We're producing.
Yeah.
We're producing a short film for these people. It's a 7-second video clip that we're recording, but it's gonna be a 30-second content. And then and I always tell my attendants, I'm like, yo, we take one take. We're not like, because in the beginning it'd be like, oh, I didn't like that one. Can we take another one? I'm like, no more of that.
You get
Yeah.
back in line and
Yeah,
then come
yeah,
back.
no more of these, because when it's a party, when it's a hit, and there's like 150 plus, 100 plus attendance.
That's the 150
Yeah.
people in line.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
don't have time for that.
Right.
Yeah.
We don't have time for that. I mean, unless they want to pay me for another hour, then yeah, we got time for that.
Yeah.
Right.
but no, it's not. You know what I mean? So it's like, yeah, stick to the base. And all my tents have the same spiel as I do for the most part. It's like just this, great, and then you know, it's all business and all that. But then once they see the playback,
Right.
Yeah.
They're
then that's all of a
impressed
sudden when you remember, like,
they're impressed
yeah,
themselves.
Yeah,
Then
They're
they,
like, "Ah,
then they get
thank
their
you."
own ideas. Yeah, they get their own ideas. They get creative with their unique poses.
exactly.
Yeah, just that first one. I always tell them like, look, this is the warm up. You know,
Mhm.
you'll get an idea of how it works, and then get back in line, and then you know
Mhm.
you'll know what to do now.
Yeah.
So they end up loving it. You know.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
I think that's the importance of interacting with the clients too, though. I don't think that the people that hire us, you, or service providers out there get that if you're like yourself and being interactive with all the clients, or rather all their guests that they have there, that's so important. That's why it makes that whole experience so much better.
No, you did say that a while ago. I remember you said that to me, and it was just regular sit down, and then you said, "Yeah, man, da 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 da," and you're interacting with other guests. Why wouldn't they? You know, you're giving me a compliment basically.
Right.
And that became one of my selling points when I'm like, when people are inquiring with me, and I'm like, you know, getting some specifics and this and that, and then I'm like, yeah, if you want me and my team, what you see on my Instagram and what you see in like all these people smiling, like that's what we do.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? On top of providing cool 360 videos.
Right.
Like we're gonna be providing with all your guests.
Yeah.
So if you like my vibe, if you like my attendance vibes, yo, go with me.
The whole party's gonna
Yeah.
be the same
Yeah,
vibe.
exactly. It's so I remember that stuck with me. I remember Ray told me a long time ago, it's like, yo, there's always someone that's it's really important for. So I drive that point. I was like, yo, so why is this really important? Like,
Right.
why are we spending X
What
amount
does
of
this
thousands of
mean to you?
dollars?
Why are we here to begin
Yeah,
with? And then find that importancy and use that too.
Yeah, exactly. And like I said, every time I go into there and have a sit down with all you guys, I'm like, oh yeah, I'm gonna take a little bit of that and utilize
Right.
that some way somehow. And starting this whole 360 business, it's like it just really just made me my relationship with money is totally changed, because it's always like, yeah, you gotta take dividends and pay yourself first and this and that, but you can't always reinvest into the company, right? But when you do reinvest into the company, it's like, all right, where's the most strategic way? You know what I mean? Like,
So that it
Exactly.
comes back tenfold.
yeah, like,
Of course.
do I invest my money into hiring this person so I can get more sleep for my 9 to 5, so I don't gotta pull an all nighter?
Right.
Do I invest into you know what I mean? It's
Yeah.
like where am I as an entrepreneur, right? It's like, where can we buy more time? How do I buy
Exactly.
more
Yeah.
time?
Right.
That's all we want, right?
Yeah.
You just want time to spend with our kids, go on
Yeah.
vacation, go to whatever.
Right.
Yeah.
It's just, how can I get more time for myself, and then how am I gonna have the disposable income to do that?
Yeah.
Right?
So-
That's how I see it.
Always important to have a side hustle, if not, a small business like we all have now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Especially in the rental service business for the entertainment industry, it's important to have this side hustle. And like yourself, impressively, you still have a 9 to 5,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
I mean, it's not an ordinary 9 to 5. That's 9 p.m. to 5 a.m., guys. If you guys are wondering.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He literally goes from his event home, showers, and then straight to work.
Yeah.
That's a hustler right
Yeah,
there.
I've been doing that. I'll do an all nighter like maybe three times a month. Like I'll be like on the way to work, I'll be like slapping myself in the face, like, let's go.
And he still comes into RevoSpin and visit us in the office with all this energy,
portals
bro.
and
Where do you hide this
some
energy, bro?
I don't hide it, man. It's just genuine energy, man. It really is. Because, and I keep saying this, whether I'm just saying it just to say it or just keep saying it until I believe it, but it's like, if you do enough things that bring you joy, you won't feel burnt out. You won't feel burnt out.
Yeah.
And that's exactly, I honestly think I'm living that right now, because I'm like making so many people happy.
You could put a quote on that.
Yeah. I mean, I saw that probably on Instagram or something, but I'm not original. I mean, I can't reinvent the
We'll
wheel.
trim that for your Instagram. No,
Yeah.
but I mean, you just have good energy, because like even when you show up to the office, like everybody there is like, you know,
Yeah.
they get excited. You know, Myra sees you like, hey, what's up?
I
Like,
think Myra's got a crush on me, but yeah.
oh man, but you know, everybody sees you and then everyone gets excited. Like, hey, everyone greets you because you just have this like electrifying
Yeah,
energy that
good
you just-
energy.
yeah.
Yeah.
I
That's
electrify
good
you,
energy.
Carlos.
Like it's never like it's never like, oh man, here's this guy. You know, it's always like, oh,
Well, it's always a magnetic pull
Yeah.
towards your
Hey,
vibe. I mean,
hey,
whether
yeah.
it's business related or not, it's always a good vibe as far as all the conversations we've had. We've seen you at the office numerous times, and every time it's always a treat. So we
Yeah.
appreciate you visiting for sure.
Yeah.
And then, I mean, I for one I'm really proud of having you as one of our customers. To see you from the ground and to where you're at now, it's
Yeah,
like,
likewise.
man, this guy knows what he's doing.
You
Right,
can't
I
help
mean-
but admire. You know what I
Right,
mean?
for
Yeah,
sure.
it's good.
Yeah.
give credit where it's due.
I
Yeah.
mean, it's crazy, but I feel like I'm still just getting started right now.
To see it, and that's the
Yeah.
awesome part
Yeah.
of it.
That's the greatness
You've
of
yet
it.
you've yet to get your full
I
potential.
don't even have the track star yet. That's gonna be.
Speaking of which, on sale now on the website.
Hey, that's a game changer.
Use
I
Carlos
mean,
5 at checkout.
I thought I was getting a checkout number. What's going on here? No, but yeah, and that's another thing. Going into the showroom, your LA showroom, and I go into there's always new
There's always something
things.
new, yeah.
It's like, what
we
is
outgrew
going
that
on here?
showroom pretty quick.
Yeah.
That showroom is just intense. Like, people, you got to go check that one out, because I'm in there, and you got these huge LED. Are they LED TVs?
LED walls,
Yeah.
LED
LED
walls.
video
And
walls.
you got everything. It's like, I can't fit that in my Honda Clarity, guys. Like, what's going on?
Yeah.
I can fit so much on my bike rack.
Ready to capture 360 videos on your 360 platform? Make sure to use the RevoSpin 360 app today. Extremely easy to use, only 4 steps needed to create the event.
This is the moment, tonight is the night. We'll fight till it's over, so we put our hands up like the ceiling can't hold us.
You can download the RevoSpin 360 app from our Google Play Store and Apple Play Store today for free. And let's go ahead and get our event started.
Yeah. Yeah. Let's talk about that. Like the type of events you were doing and how you knew it was important to capture all that for your social media.
Great question. So the first event I did, because I figured I was like, okay, this is a great contraption I have, right? Like,
What kind of event was it?
It was for personal training.
Oh,
It was a
wow.
personal training gym. I think I remember telling Carlos
Yeah.
in detail.
I seen those videos.
That's the point. Everyone needs to see those videos. No, but I went to this one training facility, self-made training facility. Jason, Marissa, thank you for that first event. I went to them. I showed them the quick little 360 video that I did on my own at some park with just the simple little setup. And I said, "Yo, I know you have an event coming up. What do you think about this?" I opened up my laptop, showed them my 360 video myself, and the owner was like, "I want it."
Right.
And he's like, "I have an event coming up this Friday." I was like, "I know you do."
While you think we're having this
I've been stalking
conversation.
you.
yeah, exactly. I mean, he's big on social media. That's the
Yeah.
thing. He's big on social media. So he's like, "All right, what's your cost?" I was like, "Don't even worry about the cost." I was like, "Just get me in there, and just tell all your trainers to just tag me and repost me."
Wow.
Yeah.
He's like, "Done."
So the first event was free.
First event was a nice marketing event.
Nice.
It was a nice
Nice.
marketing event.
So it gives you the opportunity to get your feet wet too and get the experience yourself
Yeah,
as
exactly.
the provider, right?
Exactly, and
Did you feel like there was not much pressure because you're like, it's my first event, and if things go wrong, they didn't pay me, so I don't feel.
No, I still wanted to provide good service.
No,
I
no,
still-
I'm saying, but
what
like,
you're
did
saying,
you,
yeah.
did,
You
you
didn't have much
relieve that
pressure on
pressure.
yourself.
Yeah, I mean, no, to be honest, I had high standards for myself that day because I was already like tinkering with the machine.
Yeah.
I already knew what I was looking for. I knew what I thought was gonna look good. So I put that all into play on that event, and I pretty much executed it. I executed it fairly better than I expected, which is nice. And then yeah, that first event, there were all those trainers, and they're all local. That's the main thing I knew. They're all local. They're all personal trainers. They all have clients.
They all have
Personal
followings.
training. Yeah, they all have followers. And personal training isn't cheap, so all their
Right.
clients got money. So
Yeah.
their clients are going to see these videos. They're all trying to get ready for a wedding. I can't say something.
Right.
They're all trying to
Everyone's a potential customer.
everyone, especially there, right? So I did that one event, and I was just getting tagged. I put my Instagram, because I got nothing on there.
It was just starting to blow up.
It was just like ding, 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 ding.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh my god, I'm so popular. Everyone loves me.
So that was a really good opportunity then to capture
Oh,
that kind of social
yeah.
media market, and then I'm sure you got business out of it.
Yeah. So the CEO of that franchise was there. He's like, I want you at all my grand openings.
Dang.
And I was like, cool. And business, it's all in the follow up, right? So
Right.
So I just followed up with all the other gyms, and I started to be one of their go-to guys, if not the go-to guy for them. And after that first event, that's when I started. That's when I got like 3, 4, 5 inquiries on my Instagram. I was like, whoa, this is for real. I was like, I don't even
The
know
ball's
how for them to send me money. I don't even know what I was like, how much do I ask for a deposit? I'm like, I didn't have any type of contract. I had nothing. And I was like, I was making I was like, okay, yeah, send me your packages. I was making stuff on my iPhone notes. I was like, okay, and then taking a screenshot and then sending it to them. Like I had nothing ready to go.
That's raw though. That's like
Yeah.
Yeah.
that's like legit, just starting from nothing, and then working with what you got,
Yeah.
relying on yourself, and then just investing in yourself and just seeing the outcome of it.
And that's probably where I probably hit the first stumbling block. Actually, when I started getting those inquiries was knowing my worth or the value of the service I'm providing. It's like, yo, how do I justify this $200, $300, $400, $500 an hour when I feel like I'm not even really ready,
Yeah.
or where I'm like, but then I forget because I'm so close to it and I do it all the time. I forget how cool it is
Yeah.
Yeah.
from an outside perspective.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I forget my first time seeing Carlos on a
Yeah.
360 and how I was like, whoa. I forget the first time I saw it on social media when I was like, whoa. So that was the thing, was the pricing. Pricing was a big thing where it's like, do I
Where
feel
to pinpoint yourself?
yeah.
Yeah. I feel like a lot of people are in the same situations. A lot of people are just going downhill spiral on the pricing. You know what I mean? It's like the first inquiry that they get, they're giving out the pricing right away. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's the lowest price they can give.
Yeah, it's I mean, yeah, we all have done the scoping out, other 360 companies, and
But that could be bad for you.
and I think it was a
Yeah.
bad thing because you're
Because
like,
you start
okay.
comparing yourself, but then you got to realize, like, wait, my company and my brand and my content is a lot better than theirs. So why
Maybe
should
not in the
I?
beginning because I didn't have
exactly.
anything.
But now it's like, why do I feel threatened that this guy's charging $150 an hour, and I'm charging $350 an hour?
Well, I think a lot of the problem also is they're looking at the products. The reality is people will rent you not based on your products. It's based on you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. And it's funny, on the flip side of that, 150 an hour, how was that guy charging 700 an hour?
Yeah.
Right.
Like,
Exactly.
It's like, wait a minute.
Where do you find
Where-
yourself in between that?
Yeah,
That's
it's
a big
like-
gap.
It is, and what I realize is like, don't get me wrong, I'm not charging 700 an hour, but it's like sometimes that outrageous number that they throw out, that $700, $800 an hour, it's like that makes people look at you a little bit more.
Right.
They're like, wait a minute, what is this guy or this company providing that?
That's true.
Yeah.
It's
On
like
the
why are they
opposite-
why are
yeah.
they standing out so much more, and why do they think they're how are they justifying 700 an hour when
It gets them curious.
when I got like this other guy, this other 360 company charging, 150 for 4 hours. You know what I
That's,
mean?
that's ridiculous.
You know what I mean?
Well, that was one of the big questions on our Facebook group for RevoSpin customers. They're like, hey guys, what
How
should
do
I charge?
price? Yeah.
And I always just try to chime in there here and there, and I'm like, you know what, just for one, do some research around your area, see what your guys' average is, right? Don't sell yourself short. Don't overdo it.
Yeah.
Also, and then throughout your trial and error, you're gonna find that pinpoint for yourself where
Yeah,
you're gonna be worth.
where you're at.
Right.
Yeah.
Right, to the packages you provide, you'll find yourself. All right, this is my price point right here.
Yeah, like me, I'll have clients come in and they're like, "What do you charge?" I'm like, I charge $3.50 an hour to our minimum, and then they're like, "That's kind of expensive." And I tell them like, "Look, I've been doing this for over a decade.
Yeah.
I'm Apple. I'm not competing with Obama phones. You
Right.
get an Obama phone all day, but if you want an Apple iPhone,
Yeah.
then you get me."
You gotta know your value.
Yeah.
Like you said earlier, you do have to know your value. Like even with me, I mean, I stopped renting photo booth, but even if somebody did call, or I actually got a referral from one of my friend, who a vendor actually referred me to a lead, and they were asking me what was my price. I could tell already that they already gotten pricing from someone else.
Yeah.
And I said, my rate is $500 an hour. I'm not the cheapest. That's what I said. But I said, if you're just looking for a cheap price, I know a lot of people that can rent it to you for a lot cheaper than what I'm doing, if that's what you're going after. But then again, I said, how important is this party for you? I mean, are you hiring a DJ? Are you hiring a catering? Or are you just playing an iPhone with a loudspeaker? And are you just going to be cooking the food by yourself? Because you can go as cheap as you want on this party,
Right.
depending on how valuable this party is. And I really emphasize on the value of the event, who it is for, how special is this person, and if you just focus on that value, you should be able to, to put a price tag on that value itself, as a high commodity type
Yeah.
of event.
Yeah, it's what's really helped me is not playing the price competition.
Oh,
Price
yeah.
wars.
It's I think
Yeah.
it's more so. I rather compete with my services.
Mm.
Yes.
I rather compete with my services because everyone could be lowballing anybody. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But like say when I'm especially have you checked all my highlight reels?
Yeah.
Like
That's
when
good.
they inquire, I'm like, great, awesome. I'm glad to hear you have an event. Have you checked out all our highlight reels? Like I'm sure you saw something that caught your eye. Right? So that way they see the value again.
Yeah.
And it's more like I rather just add on than drop the price first.
Right.
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 Like, oh, I got the Inferno Flames,
Yeah.
the sparklers,
Right.
I got the Nimbus
Yeah.
photo booth that I could add complimentary, better than sitting in my garage collecting dust. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Right?
yeah, that's good.
Exactly.
That's a
Right?
good selling point too.
Yeah.
Though.
Yeah.
Adding to what
Yeah.
they're already
Yeah.
they're
Instead
already
of-
inquiring.
Yeah, instead of driving down on the price,
Exactly.
add something. I mean, something as simple as a memory book. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So whatever's at my disposal, right? Whatever that I have, it's I'd rather just keep adding value.
Yeah.
And then if the add value doesn't work, then I know it's really about the budget.
Right.
Then I say,
Yeah.
okay, like just straight up, tell me what's your budget? Just tell me.
No,
that.
no.
We'll work
We'll
with
work
Throw me a
something
number and
out.
I'll see what I could do.
We'll work around
something.
that.
And then they'll be
Right.
like, oh, this is gonna sound. I'm gonna be really embarrassed, and I don't want you to get offended. I'm like, no, just tell me what it is. They're like, oh, it's only X amount of dollars. I'm like, cool, let's do it.
Right.
Yeah, let's go. Like,
I'll give
really?
you 2 hours for that. Whatever.
Yeah, exactly. And they're gonna give me something, and then I'm about to take away something, right? If they're gonna do less, I'll do less.
Right.
But they're still gonna be the
Yeah.
same experience, same service, So I rather, for pricing, what I realize now, it's like, let me focus on on the value of the package, the service that I'm gonna provide. Let me add, and then if the adding doesn't work, then I know it's really about the budget. So
That's
how
a good way to look at it for sure.
Yeah.
yeah, it's just like it's that's what's really helped. And now, maybe in the middle of like the whole thing, I felt at one point I felt entitled to a certain hourly rate, and then I kind of like slapped myself in the face, like who am I to say? I was like, what am I doing here? Like turning down business? Like I was doing this stuff for free like 3-4 months ago, and I was like, yeah, let me just get content. But so now I'm just like, especially because I have employees and I know they're super grateful and thankful for the business that I'm able to provide for them, and a couple extra bucks in their pocket, a couple extra bucks in my pocket. We're all staying busy. We're all staying on top of our game. You know what I mean?
There's
So-
always a median side. I mean, take a look at Uber, right? I mean, if they stuck with just the black cars, as they say, their business would have gone. It
Yeah.
would have been gone by now. Lyft would have taken over. They didn't wanna. I remember watching that movie Super Pump. I mean, he didn't. They didn't wanna do the cheap cars.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And Lyft did all the cheap cars,
Yeah.
and they're making fun of them. But
Yeah,
that-
take
at
your
the-
cars to the mechanic and let's start driving.
right at the end of the day, they said, you know what, we're gonna lose our business if we don't take that.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
you're not in the business to say no. You're in the business to accommodate. You know, so you find a
Yeah.
way to
Yeah.
accommodate them.
And that's what I've really learned. That word specifically is I want to be the most accommodating man there is. Like I remember saying
Yeah.
that more than a dozen times, probably in the last like 4 or 5 months.
Yeah, there's ways. There
Yeah.
is definitely. You don't have to turn it down if the budget is the real reason why you can't fulfill it. Then come down. But like you said, you know, there's always a part where you have to play the role. You know, you don't
Yeah.
have to give everything. You know, just make them understand that they're going to be getting a similar service for the price that they're looking for.
Exactly. And that's kind of the point is like I'm just trying to get every booking now. Like,
Yeah.
like whether it's me working it, one of my workers working it, like why not? Why
It's part of
not?
scaling. It's part of scaling your business. You know, I've seen a lot of companies that would turn down the business. For me back then, I used to turn down a lot of business, but my reasons were different. My reasons are this isn't my thing. You know, it's not my main business. You know what I mean? So I wasn't trying to scale it in a sense. But then again, am I renting now? No, I'm not. So it just
Yeah.
goes to show sometimes, if you're not in the business to dominate and really scale your business, it goes the opposite way.
Yeah.
You're either going to stay alive or you're going to stop doing it. For me, I
Yeah.
stopped doing it,
Yeah, and it's something that you said earlier is like accommodating. I also associate that pivot is also a word that I associate being accommodating. It's just constantly just like, okay, let me go this way, then this way. There's still the same end goal, but
There's always content tweaks.
yes,
Yeah.
Right, to
there's
business.
got to be a lot of tweaks in it, and that's what I've learned a lot that from you guys. You know what I mean? It's just like those little lessons from your experiences here and there. I'm like, yeah, I need to utilize that. I need to change my mindset just a little bit. Those tweaks, I need to make those little tweaks of my mindset.
You
here.
got to dominate your market.
Yeah.
Like for me, if I didn't find another market that I can dominate, or I know I can dominate, I probably still would have been doing rentals and trying to dominate that market. And my mentality has always been, same as yours. I never say no.
Yeah.
I always say yes, and I'll figure out a way to do it. You know what I mean? Because there was a time when somebody says, "Oh, are you Filipino?" And I used to go, "No, I'm not Filipino." Because a lot of the Filipinos, a lot of Filipinos tend to say no on a lot of things. And if you notice, Filipino has an N-O at the end. You know what I mean? So I said, "No, I'm not Filipino. I'm an American." Because American will say, "Yeah, I can do anything you want."
Make it happen.
American has an I can at the end. So I said, I'm American. I'm not Filipino because Filipino likes to say no. At the end of the day, that's a joke, by the way. So if there's
Oh, don't cancel Ray, man. He's a good guy. I promise.
No,
What did
it's
we
just-
just get into right now?
it's just a mentality. You know what I mean? It's one of those things where you got to teach yourself that it's a mindset. You know what I mean? So for me, I wanted to have a different mindset. I
Yeah,
wanted to say,
mindset's
you know what?
important.
I can't do anything. I'm not gonna say no to business. I'm gonna say yes
Yeah.
to everything, and then find a way, to make it work. That's
Yeah.
just the way you have to be in a rental business or in a reselling business.
Yeah.
So it just so happened that like I said, back in the days when I was renting, I was saying yes to everything. I figured out a way to dominate that market. I had maybe 13 photo booths running, in and out. $25,000 in cash on a weekend? Who does that? That's
Yeah.
crazy. I'm not gonna tell you how nuts the events were and how how crazy it got. And it was overwhelming. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You got 13 people running around. Some of them are doing 2 events in one Saturday.
Yeah.
Some of them are. It's so difficult to control.
Yeah.
And all I cared about at that time was fulfilling those events.
Yeah.
Those were my commitments.
Yeah, and it's crazy because how many years ago? When was that? How many years ago was that?
was
That
like
one was
almost 10 years ago, almost.
when I was just
15
starting.
years.
Yeah, that was I was just when I was
08,
just starting.
09.
And the rental rate at that time was $800 an hour. Like when I tell people about that, they
Traditional
can't
photo
believe
booth.
it, bro.
You know, and
Traditional
Traditional
photo
photo
booth.
booth,
and that's the
not
crazy
360.
thing. And that's the crazy thing. It's like, because the photo booth industry is still like that. It's like
crazy.
it hasn't really like. I wonder what the graph looks like of
Right.
Yeah.
But it's just like there's always people having parties. There's always people that want their memories to be captured some way somehow. and like that's what I've noticed about it. I was like, man, this is a great business. I'm not saying it's recession proof. I mean, since we're coming up in a recession, but it's like it's like
There's always going to be
There's always
events.
gonna be-
There's
think
always
about
going to
it.
be occasions, whether it's a recession or not. We adjust to it, right?
Yeah.
Obviously, if there's a recession, you adjust pricing for
Yeah.
inflation or whatever it is happening in the world. You adjust for it as a business. I mean, obviously, all businesses will get hit during a recession, but we work our way around it especially with rental services. I'd say like you think it's recession proof. I think it's right around there.
It's somewhat true.
It's
Think
somewhat
about it,
true,
though.
for sure.
Think about it for a second. When people are sad and depressed, what do? Don't
party.
they buy tickets and go to a concert? They
Right.
want to entertain themselves. They don't want to think about the problem.
Yeah.
I mean, for me, if I was in that situation, I've been in that situation before. I don't want to think about it. I just want to enjoy life.
Yeah.
So I'll find some ways of means to entertain myself, whether it's watching a movie with my kids. Find something to entertain me.
Yeah.
So for me, it's somewhat recession proof, because without you entertaining yourself or finding ways to entertain you and your family, then you just be depressed.
It's
And
just
then,
stale.
It's
Yeah.
just stale, and that's why there's a lot of people that commit suicide.
Yeah.
Because they get locked into that mindset.
Yeah.
But the truth is, 90% of us will always find ways to entertain ourselves.
Yeah.
Exactly. And it's always good to talk to someone, because I remember when we used to be at the office in Hong Kong.
Yeah.
Me, you, and Mark were there. Mark was picking up some booths, and I remember I was like going through stuff, and then you're like, "Hey, man, you good?" And I was like, I just started venting to you, and you're like, "You know what, bro? It's like you're focusing too much on the problem. You're like, why don't you focus on becoming a better salesman, and that puts money in your pockets, and you're gonna start feeling better."
Yeah.
And then, I mean, shit, it sounds like basic
Focus on
advice.
making money.
It sounds like basic advice, but I mean,
But
that
when you're
really
going
helped me.
through it, it's like
Yeah.
you're in a box and you can't think outside.
Exactly.
But when you're talking to somebody about that stuff, you get advice here, you get advice there. You take some of the best things and
Exactly.
you try to apply it for
Yeah.
sure.
Definitely. So, like, I mean, and I feel like that's one thing where you prosper a lot, because you'll go do an event, and then you had a question or something you didn't know, and you just come right back here. Yo, man, someone hit me with this question. I'm like, oh, what's up? You didn't tell me you're coming. What's up, bro? But like, yeah, what up? But like, you knew where to get the answers, and you were not afraid of coming over here.
Yeah, and
You're not trying to like figure it out on your own. You're like, man, these guys are cool. They embrace me. So like, I'm gonna go to RevoSpin. I'm gonna make time to go today and tell them about this problem I encountered and how they would deal with it.
You're absolutely right. It's that's one thing that I've really come to grasp the concept of, especially the last year or two, is utilizing your resources. Some people are just too shy, maybe, or
You gotta ask, bro.
You got, you know what I mean? Whether it's asking for the price, asking for the purchase, asking for the sell, or just asking a smarter, more experienced, more seasoned individual that you have access to, just ask them the question. It'll save you so much time rather
People-
than just real life experience.
Yeah, I
You
think
gotta
people
do it.
don't ask enough, bro. They
Yeah.
don't ask questions enough. They don't ask enough. You know what I mean? And it's like, what do you got to lose? What's the worst that can happen?
You
No.
can die. That's the worst thing that could happen, and it's not gonna happen. You know
Yeah,
what I mean?
but
You know what I
just
mean?
ask. You know,
Yeah.
I mean, back then when I was in college, I was telling my friend, I go, you know what? If I ask 100 girls in the mall to go out on a date with me, I said, I bet one of them will say yes. I have to ask. You know what I mean?
numbers
There's
game.
always it's a
You have
number
to ask
game.
100 girls. Damn, that's
No, it's a number game. You know what I mean? It's just you can't get you can't get turned down. You
It's a
know.
lot of girls.
Point is, I may not be as good looking as he is, but I said the numbers will eventually hit. You know.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. It really is a numbers game when it comes down to it. Whether it's marketing events, whether it's just throwing out Instagram ads, social
Yeah.
media ads, you just gotta put yourself,
Put yourself
out there.
out there.
Put yourself out there.
Out there
Yeah.
and see what sticks.
Yeah. Ask the questions. Communicate. With people, network.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
take chances. And
Yeah.
I mean, also another big thing that I've really come across is just having the belief in the big F word, faith. It's just having faith in myself.
Yeah.
And just having faith in in what I'm trying to accomplish, and so far that's been steering me in the right direction. And it's just
Investing in yourself.
Yeah.
I think that's the big thing too. And I realize that that's what a lot of successful people do is they invest in themselves, whether it's like self growth stuff,
Yep.
realizing their weaknesses and trying to make that a strength, or just learning new skill sets.
Right.
And this
Always
is
going to be learning.
Yeah, this is a skill. Like this is this is a very you need to be skillful at doing this
Yeah.
360 thing. Like it's
Well, it's not just the 360 or the product itself or the photo booth
Yeah.
itself. It's running a business.
Yeah.
Right? It's everything
Yeah.
from overhead, from
Yeah.
maintenance on the booth or the 360, from employees.
Yeah.
Right. So-
Replacement parts, all that.
Right.
Yeah.
No, you're absolutely right. It goes from like hey, that could be cool, to a side hustle, to all of a sudden now it's a business,
Full-blown
to now
business,
yeah,
yeah.
then all of a sudden now you're
You catch yourself
Yeah.
being an
Yeah.
entrepreneur now.
It opens up a lot of
it's-
doors.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's exactly that, and it's exactly what I envisioned for myself for this 360. And like I said earlier in this podcast was like, it's just getting started. Like
Yeah.
I really can't see myself leaving.
This industry.
Yeah, there's gonna be pivots and tweaks along the way, and
That goes for everything, for
you know
sure.
what I mean. And I see how innovative RevoSpin is with all your cool stuff that started from the first time I met you guys.
And
to
you've seen
today.
the growth. Like
Yeah.
you've really seen our staff get bigger. Like
Yeah, I mean, it seems necessary with all that cool inventory you guys have, and
Well,
and
speaking of getting started, or you're barely getting started, you got any advice for beginners that are just like weighing their options on wanting to get into this
they
industry?
have that idea just like you. What would you tell them to like just go for it?
yeah, I mean, why not? It's like if you could see if you saw like a video, whether it was from my Instagram or anyone's social media, or you saw that spark and you realize like this could be something special. It's because it is something special. It is something special, and you could provide that something special for a lot of different events,
Countless.
events. I mean, this thing is fits every occasion, and all you really have to do is just put yourself out there, put that 360, just get that thing set up anywhere, and you're gonna draw a crowd. Like literally, you'll draw a crowd
Yeah.
for anything.
Yeah.
I was just in New York, and then I went to Times Square. Kid you not, there was at least like 8 360s.
Wow.
And I was
On
just-
Times Square, just going around.
Just right there. And I was just walking by. I was like, "Hey guys," I was like, "Hey, what's up?"
Yeah. So I would say if you have a tolerance for risk, because this is a risk, you know what I mean, it's an investment, and if you have a
Right.
tolerance for risk, and if you're willing to take a, you know what I mean, because yeah,
leap
it's
of
gonna
faith.
yeah, it's gonna
It's a
gonna-
risk and reward game.
Yeah, it's gonna you take up your time and money, but
But it comes back tenfold.
Yeah.
yeah, but
Yeah.
then the bill on regret is way more pricier than not going for
That
it.
what if,
You know what
huh?
I mean?
Right.
Yeah, if
It's-
Totally agree.
It's the risk and reward. I believe that the rewards are far greater than the risk. You take a concept of, okay, I have to invest X amount of dollars. That's a risk. It's a question of the reward. What do you get after that? You know what I
Oh,
mean?
and
It's a lot more.
Exactly, and usually that's the way it works. It's like, so what if you lose a little time or money?
Yeah.
I mean, it's like you gotta put some skin in the game, and the most successful people that I know, they have lots of losses.
Yeah.
Right.
There's a
Yeah,
lots of
we've gone through those
Yeah.
ourselves. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
You're bound to
And
make mistakes.
yeah.
But
You're
it's the
bound to make
mistakes
mistakes.
do you make along the way that pushes you towards success.
You have to fail in order for
Yeah.
you to learn from it and scale.
Got
you know
it.
what I mean?
Got it. It's something I heard. And
Yeah, how do
it's
you?
something I heard. It's like falling is by accident, but getting up, that's
Yeah.
that's on purpose. You know what I mean?
Right.
And right here we all have a purpose, whatever our purpose is, and if you could find something joyful in life that gives you genuine joy, in this short life that we have, go for it. I mean, and this is what this thing does. It's like I didn't know this 360 booth was gonna bring me this much joy, but my network has never been larger. I've never felt more valuable in my life. God's honest truth. And my bank account's never been better. You know what I mean? It's like-
Hey, you can't go wrong with that.
yeah, I mean, yeah.
That's always good. That's always a
Yeah.
plus, honestly. I mean, if you're going into the business for the money, then you're in it for the wrong reasons.
Yeah.
But if you're in it for a passion and actually like what you're doing, profit's gonna follow.
Yeah, it just comes,
Exactly,
yeah. How many
exactly.
phones do you have now?
What's that?
How many phones do you have now?
I didn't want to bring all my phones and cause a scene over here, but I got about 4 different phones now.
There you go. And one's on time
Oh,
lapse.
one's
Yeah.
over there recording this time lapse.
Yeah, I mean,
This
all
guy's
the
a baller
booths,
now.
all the booths run off iPhones. So,
Yeah.
Right,
I mean,
so
if you have 3,
that's
4
always
events
good.
going on, you gotta have 3, 4 phones ready to go.
Well, if you could give yourself advice from now to if you could talk to yourself right before you started, what would you give yourself advice on?
Just do it. Do exactly what you have envisioned, because that's exactly the way it's supposed to happen. You know what I mean? Like,
Just apply the Nike sign and do it.
Yeah, no, honestly, like I
Check
wouldn't change anything. I wouldn't change anything. It's
Nice.
just because everything's got to happen.
Right.
Everything happens for a reason, and what that reason is, I don't know. But it's up to you to find
Yeah.
out.
Well, let me ask you this: where do you see yourself in 5 years, business-wise?
Business-wise, 5 years from now, just a lot more of a passive role, right? More passive role, but definitely I love this rental game. This rental game is cool. I
It's
really
addicting,
do.
huh?
Yeah, because once you take care of the overhead cost, I mean, like I said earlier, it's like, what's the worst thing that's gonna happen? It's gonna
Yeah.
collect dust. It's
Right.
like,
Mhm.
you know what I mean? Once you
Yeah.
pay it once, you're good, and then it's up to you just to keep on hustling it, right? And 5 years from now, it's like I just see myself having a lot more time,
Nice.
having a
Yeah.
lot more time to
Working
do
your
the
way
things.
up there. Yeah.
Yeah, that's all that I think, personally speaking, and I think we all could agree, is that's all we're trying to do. Like I said earlier, is like we're just trying to find ways to give ourselves more time. Just find ways to give ourselves more time.
Time is wealth.
Yeah, that's the same. We all share the same currency, and that's time.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's the one currency we all have the same.
And you can never recover that.
Yeah, you know, time is. I heard a cool saying. I'm not gonna try to repeat it because I'm gonna get it wrong. But it's like, you know, it's free, but you could spend it. You know what I mean?
Right.
It's just like, that's what I really want, because you know, we all have you know, our hopes and dreams and this and that, but I really just want to just have a nice little big, massive, whatever it is, but just something running, something that I could be part of, something that still brings me joy 5 years from now. If I could still find joy in what I'm doing, whether it's and I know there's gonna be a lot of pivots along the way. If I could just still have a business up and running after the first year, that's a huge success. I know, like,
100%.
the statistic on what
Yeah.
business startups for the first year, that they go under, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Like 99%.
Right.
Well, 5
Right.
years from now, you know, if you find yourself falling out of the passion and you've built this massive rental business, you can always sell it. You know, and there's always going to be somebody there that's
There's
going to
always
pay you a
that.
good amount of money for you to retire.
Yeah,
You know?
it's absolutely that. There's always options, and there's always going to be options. There's always going to be solutions, and
Yeah.
and just as long as, to be honest, just as long as we still become problem solvers,
Yeah.
just as long as we keep finding solutions, we'll get paid for that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, people pay for problem solvers. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
And that's exactly what this 360 is. It's like
You just got to keep doing it. You just
Yeah.
got to have that passion. Like, I have a friend who, you know, I would say about 7 years ago, he started losing his passion in the production game. And I was telling him, I go, look, just because you don't feel like doing it anymore, you know, why don't you sell it? I said, you don't realize the IP that you have in your business. You know, I mean, he's looking at it as who's going to buy it and this and that. I'm like, bro, over the years, you've built this business. You've built your brand. Your brand is your IP, your intellectual property. You know, and people are going to want that. They're going to want to know your goodwills. They're going to want to, you know, and you're going to get a really nice buku bucks out of that. And the minute he started thinking about it, his passion came back. You know, he
Yeah.
didn't want to sell it. He put in too much hard work in it. But ultimately, we all reach a point of that, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, 5
Sometimes,
years from now,
sometimes the fire will turn off.
Of
you know,
course,
and you just gotta light it back up.
Of course, it's and that's what purpose is. It's just it's fluid. It's fluid. And am I gonna be the same person am I in 5 years from now? Obviously not. Obviously not. Am I gonna be the same person five weeks from now? No, probably not either. Like,
You
know what I
might
mean?
be
Like,
someone else.
Always.
After a conversation, you could change your whole outlook on
exactly.
life.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, it's something I heard earlier.
Well, we look forward to growth all the time.
Yeah, 1% better every day. You know what I mean? Like, shoot, do that, 3 months straight, you're 100% better. You know what I mean? You're good. You know what I mean? So it's just wiser. Just wiser, more experienced, more seasoned. Maybe 5 years from now, maybe like be able to be considered like a mentor. You know what I mean? And just continue just the goodwill,
Right.
You know what I mean? But I love giving. I love giving. I love giving. It really gives me joy. It's a guilty pleasure that I have.
Pass
you know
down
what
the
I mean?
experience.
Yeah, I mean,
You
or
gotta
just
put your
anything.
customers on the front line.
Yeah,
you know.
Yeah,
If they become your first priority in your business, it'll grow.
yeah. It's but at the same time though, it's like not all money's good money. You know what I mean?
Exactly. Really important.
So customers are very important, but at the same time, it's like I got to take care of myself first.
and you got to know when
True.
to say no.
Yeah.
You gotta get real
Yeah.
comfortable with saying
Yeah.
no.
Like,
So
'cause-
I'm Filipino now.
Yeah. Yeah. It's different though because you own you have a store. You know, you
Yeah.
sell Bazaar World. You know,
Yeah.
and you got different businesses. So it's different. Like I said, you know, there are you pick your battles. You
Yeah.
know, there are people out here or out there that does this for a living. This is
Yeah,
all they do.
exactly.
Those are those are the people that I'm referring to, that they don't have the luxury to say no.
Yeah.
They have to scale their business. Everything is a yes because they don't have other businesses. You know, they're trying to
Yeah.
grow this business. This is what they got. This is their baby. It's the same thing for me. Years ago when I started in my business, 1999. I started with Case World, which is a custom road cases. Everything I did, breathe, air, I spoke road cases.
Yeah.
All I wanted to be around was roadies, you know, production managers, tour managers, anybody that needs road cases. Those are the people that I wanted to be around, you know. It's all I did. And I grew that business, you know, until 2008 when somebody wanted to
Economy crash, or-
economy crash
Yeah.
and you know,
So
I was
did everything else.
yeah, I was selling my business and I couldn't do it, you know. I mean, I had the opportunity to sell my business at 1.2 million, but when you put in so much work into that business, so much effort, you know what I mean? It's like you tend to come back and see how hard it was, you know, all your struggles. And then the price just goes out the window, and you know, for me, I ended up going, you know what? No, I can't do it. You know, all I had to do was just sign that dot, and that money,
Drive off to the
2008,
sunset.
2008, 1.2 million was a lot of money. You know what I mean? But I couldn't do it, you know, because I already knew what they were gonna do with the business. I already knew how they were gonna scale that business, and it was massive, you know. And I felt bad to myself. I felt like I was giving up, you know. But at the end of the day, I felt like the fire was dying on me slowly too, you know, just because there's a lot of struggles, you know. But you know, it's tough. Those are tough calls, you know.
What would you say, like, when do you decide it's a good like, all right, you know what, I gotta just detach from this idea, or I gotta detach from this?
It depends on what you're going after. Like for me, if I was going after money, I would have said done.
Yeah.
But I wasn't in for the money. You know, I was worried about my employees. I was worried
Yeah.
about, you know, what they were gonna do to my employees. They were talking about getting rid of some of my employees. I was worried about a lot of things. You know what I mean? And I was gonna come off with 1.2, not even knowing what I'm gonna do with that money to begin
Yeah.
with. You know, what am I gonna do now? For the past 8, 9, 10 years, that's all I know. You know what I mean? So what am I
Yeah.
gonna do? You know, so it was very difficult decision. So a lot of the times, you know, it's not an easy decision to make, but if you stumble on different things, new doors opens up.
Yeah.
You know,
An opportunity knocks,
And
you
you-
open it.
when we started in the photo booth business, this came from Case World.
Yeah.
You know, like people don't realize how we got started in the photo booth business. Well, back in 2008, you know, we continues on doing Case World. We started we still continue to manufacture custom road cases, and I believe it was 2009 when 2008 2009 when we started reflecting back into the photography side of the business, because there's 4 industries that I dealt with in Case World. There's the music industry, there's the photography industry, there's the corporate, which is the high school, the medical. We did all their custom road cases, and then there was another one.
Sports.
Sports, yeah, we did a lot of sports. We did a lot of trade shows for the sports industries. We did, you know, the skate sharpeners, equipment managers cases. We did all those custom
Yeah.
road cases, medical cases for the sports industry. We did that for the Dodgers, the Angels, San Diego Chargers, you name it. We were there, right? But the one thing that at that time, one thing that was gravitating in Case World was the photography industry. You know, it was people taking photos, event photos. That was growing. You know, I remember picture marketing coming up to us, and they would say, yeah, we're doing this big event for Clorox in the beach, and we need you to make custom road cases for our printers. And I remember the printer, they were Sony, you know, the
The big
The
the
dinosaurs.
big dinosaur ones when we were just getting started. And I remember making custom cases for it. And I remember I remember designing that case with a tripod on top of the road cases, and that's where they put the camera. And they would take this to the beach, and they would shoot these commercials for Clorox, right? And I remember my friend who's Terry Tonini. I think he was one of the founder of Picture Marketing at that time.
he was telling me, what they were doing. There was a lot of money, being paid for doing that. From that point, met somebody, Mimi. They were doing the Santa Claus pictures in the mall. So I've done a lot of those road cases for Santa Claus cases. At that time, they called it photo station. It's a photo booth in a nutshell. It's a photo booth, and that's how really we got into the business. Was we started building more of those road cases until later I realized, holy snap! There's a lot of photographers that are asking for this, making it more portable, and
self-operating.
Yeah, and then I remember talking to John, and I'm like, hey, you know what? A lot of our customers who are musicians, they were getting upset. They were coming into our warehouse, our factory, and they were saying, hey, Ray, man, are we not important to you anymore, man? You're telling us the
We're
lead
so
time
focused on it,
yeah. Back then, I would tell my musician friends, for my touring managers, production managers, I would tell them that the turnaround time was 2 weeks. And then we got to a point where we were telling them it's like a month. You know what I mean? And then they're like, what's the struggle, man? This never happened to you. You usually give us 2 weeks. If you need more employees, you just bring in the employees and you bang them out. And I didn't tell them that we had a shitload of photo booths that we were making. So finally they came down and wanted to go to lunch.
They saw the whole row.
They saw the whole row and they're like, shit, man, that's why we've been putting aside. And then that's when I told John, I go, hey,
Time to separate it as a whole.
time to separate as a whole entity. This was in 2010. We separated. We created a company, and at that time, we created a company called Easy Photo Booths.
Easy Photo
Yeah. So it was this whole thing started with me and John at Case World, and then we got in a couple of 2 family members to jump into the business. They're still in the business now, but it's funny how they would flip the stories around. But it's cool. You know what I mean? I don't have a problem with that. But that's just the way it is. That's how we got started. We started Easy Photo Booths, and then that company didn't kind of play it out, and when we started a different company. But it opened up a lot of doors. We've learned a lot from it.
Yeah, unfortunately, we're at where we are now, and humbly able to offer what we can to our customers, and we have a good time doing it. So
But
Yeah.
that's the beauty of that story, is that people don't know how many companies came after Easy Photo Booths before RevoSpin.
There's a lot of failures.
And that's just what we were talking about earlier. You knew the vision was right, so you're like, all right, this failed, but let me just rebrand as a different company,
Yeah.
and then continue on this vision. And then next thing you know,
The demand is there, and you're gonna have business partners that you're not gonna be able to get along with. They have a different visions.
Yeah.
You gotta be able to know when to say this is the time where we
Yeah,
just basically
we go
part
our
ways.
ways,
You know,
yeah.
you have a different vision. I have a different vision. At some point, there's gotta be a time in your partnership where you have to be the bigger man,
Yeah.
and walk out.
Yeah.
It's like a marriage. You know what I mean? It's like sometimes when things aren't just working out and it's just too toxic, you have to be that person to be able to just leave everything behind and says, everything is yours. I don't
Yeah.
need it. I don't
Yeah.
want to take anything. I'll rebuild. You know, if I'll rebuild, I'll start from scratch. You can have everything because I don't need it. You know what I mean? Besides, you don't want to take anything that's that part that's going to remind you of the toxicity of the relationship anyways,
Yeah.
I like the marriage counseling. That's good. That's good. That resonated.
Oh man.
Oh man,
Yeah, we
What
we
else
could
do we
cut
got?
that off.
I think we can wrap it up there.
Yeah.
That was great.
That was a good episode. Really quickly, David, thank you for joining us at this
Appreciate you, man.
episode.
Appreciate it, man.
It was great talking to you here. Always
Definitely.
love seeing you at the shop. To our viewers and anybody tuning in, we appreciate you. Feel free to comment down below if you have any comments or any questions, suggestions on our next episodes. Next week, our next episode, we have.
Jonathan from Be the Light Creatives.
There you go. We have a special guest
That guy's good.
from Be the Light Creatives. He's out there. He's another go-getter like this guy right here. Again, my name is John.
I'm Ray.
I'm Carlos.
David, Consconnect 360, baby.
Thanks for watching, guys.